doing an unboxing of an amp. Of course, always use a safe box opening tool. You'll know that I'm a huge fan of Mesa Boogie amps, and this came up on eBay the other day and I thought, well, I'll give this a try. I've never seen one of these before in this particular form, and so I thought I'll give that a try. I had to be quite quick. So this is heavier than it looks, and this is a, I think, semi-faithful recreation of where it all started for Mesa Boogie. That's what's interesting about it for me. This is a Mark 1 reissue. We've got tweed option power, 60 watts and 100 watt mode, then just volume 1, volume 2, master, treble, bass, middle. On the back we've got presence and reverb, and yeah, let's give this a try, see what it's like. Mark 1 was initially, I think, a Bassman kind of retweaked and stuff, put in a Princeton chassis. So I'm going to do the majority of the video with a load box, just because we're going to need, probably I'm going to imagine, to have things a little bit quieter than this amp actually wants to be. But here are the first kind of notes played through it. Master volume here as well, so I'm going to keep that nice and low. That's a really nice clean tone. Got the treble and the bass quite high, the mid's quite high as well, all at about 7 or 8. If I go into input 1, we can kind of gain boost that. I'm going to take the master down and then wow. Okay, so that's so it's got this really just low to sustain, even though there's not much gain. So the total amount of gain here, if we go nuts with this, keep the master lowish. Plenty of gain. If I go back into 2, this volume 1 doesn't do anything. So it's that typical thing where even all the way up, the reverb is certainly not like Fender levels of present. And then for a lovely little gain boost, we go back into volume 1. master volume there is on about 1.5, 2. Loving it. Right, let's dig into it a bit more, and that's kind of the first notes, first time playing through it. I'm very, very impressed. Going through the Celestian, is it C90, the Black Shadow in here? Just sounds really, really creamy and really smooth, as well as having like tons of body and a lot of bottom end. the Mesa Boogie Mark 1 was brought out around 1972. I think Randall had been experimenting with different designs before then. I think he made about 200 of the kind of boogie things, which were essentially a Fender Princeton chassis, but with Bassman guts in them. And then you've got this, it's like a hot-rodded Fender Bassman, apparently. You can probably look up this yourself and get some actual information rather than some random guy on YouTube talking junk. Input 2, I think, is the Bassman circuit, and sounds sort of... you know, like it's mostly clean tones, but I think the major kind of thing with the Mark 1 was that this was the first time you could get this kind of you know, serious amounts of gain out of an amp, and you can for sure get some really kind of screaming tones. So I think around the era of the Mark 1, the original, Mesa Boogie were like a mail order company, so you could get versions of them with different kind of features. You can get them with Paul Brighton, that sort of thing. You can get them with an EQ, but I think the original Mark 1s, as they made them, would not have had a Paul Brighton, would not have had the EQ. So they made the Mark 1 reissue from about 1989 to, I think, 2009. Is that right? 2008, so nearly 2 decades of making these things, and supposedly they're a fairly faithful recreation, so let me know if that's not the case in the comments though. I'll try and find the exact date of this little thing, but this is a head version. I thought I'd really like to try that, and I like the idea of it being in the head rather than the massive combo. Not massive, but they're heavy anyway, and then I can easily, you know, pair this up with a loadbox and stuff. Yeah, it's not a channel switching amp technically, so when you jump between channels, apparently there's quite a big volume drop. One negative thing about the amp, I think you could probably hear, that's the reverb up full. It's not got crazy amounts of reverb like a lot of the Mesa Boogie amps that I've tried. Even up full, they're still pretty subtle. I don't know if there might be a mod that you can do. Someone let me know in the comments about that. To get more of that reverb. It's just, you know, almost inaudible, sort of, you know, even up full, and that's typical, I think, of... So, pretty much all of my favourite guitarists use these at one point or another. Eric Johnson, Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, and other guitarists that are not my favourites, Al Di Meola, Pete Townsend, how's the book coming along, Pete? Use them. I guess the thing is that at the time there was really nothing that could get you this kind of gain. Supposedly this is the thing that started making the idea of the guitar as a lead instrument more of a thing, you know, competing with a saxophone is what they say. The presence I tend to run quite low, otherwise you can get quite a lot of the fizzier kind of elements with that high gain, but if we take the gain down to a more reasonable... We've got a 100 watt, 60 watt half power switch here, so if I turn it all the way up, it's going to be... probably even more headroom. I'm going to do some more videos with this, I think, because obviously it's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to get into and to check out, but that's kind of the first time plugging it in, unboxing it, and a little bit of the history of this thing. I think I want to delve even deeper into it, and see what we can coax out of this thing, because I think it's quite a cool recreation of a piece of history. So differences between this and the original amp: I don't think the original amp would have had an effects loop, and it wouldn't have had the tweed power option, and it wouldn't have been switchable down to 60 watts. So a few differences there. I probably think inside there are going to be some significant differences, so I'm going to look up more of that. But let me know if you want me to do some more videos on the Mark 1. I think like this is like the original kind of boogie vibe and has the most of that, what people started to get into boogie for from way back in the 70s, that kind of fusiony, rocky, creamy tone. This is where it all began. I'll catch you in another video soon. Feel free to like and subscribe. Do some more playing with this. Cheers.